Okay, it's a good time to start. 9 minutes late. So let's start with the roll call.
Councilman Daly,
Here.
Councilman Popescu,
Here.
Mayor Pro Tempore Duper,
Present.
Mayor Brigsby,
Present.
and Councilman Leonard. Thank you.
Okay, we have a quorum. We'll begin, as usual, with our invocation and pledge of allegiance, this time led by Councilman Popescu. Please stand.
Let's bow our heads. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you so much for the opportunity you've given us to serve this wonderful city, this great state, and amazing country. We ask that you be with us today as we deliberate on this short agenda. We thank you for all the blessings you've given us, and please be with our country and our leaders. In Jesus' name, amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Are there any additional or deletional items?
No, sir.
Would the public like to speak on any topic whatsoever except those that are agendized? No takers. Okay. There will be a conflict of interest issue later during the consent calendar. And we start with item number 1, Proclamation, National Mentoring Month. I'm intrigued that I, as the mayor of a small town, can declare a national month, but I think we're declaring our participation in a national month. The proclamation states in brief, whereas January has been designated National Mentoring Month to focus national attention on the need for mentors, whereas the National Mentoring Month Public Awareness Campaign, recognized by presidential and congressional proclamation and led by Mentor, in conjunction with Harvard School of Public Health and Highland Street Foundation, illustrates that when matched with quality mentoring programs, mentors can play a powerful role in providing young people with the tools to make responsible decisions. Whereas a recent report titled "The Mentoring Effect" indicates that young people who are at risk for not completing high school but had a mentor were 55% more likely to be enrolled in college, 81% more likely to participate in sports or extracurricular activities, and 78% more likely to volunteer regularly in their communities. Therefore, I, Rhodes Rigsby, Mayor of the City of Loma Linda, on behalf of the entire City Council, proclaim the month of January 2018 as National Mentoring Month for Loma Linda. Please come forward.
Good evening. My name is Viviana Esparza. I am the media specialist with Children's Network in San Bernardino County. And on behalf of Children's Network in San Bernardino County, I just wanted to say thank you so much to the community here in Loma Linda for their participation in National Mentoring Month and giving us that opportunity to proclaim Mentoring Awareness Month for the month of January 2018. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, the fire department has an exciting introduction for us.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We do have a couple of new hires for a couple of our firefighter paramedic vacancies, and so want to introduce a couple faces you'll see in the community. Also, the retirement of Deputy Chief of Operations, Dana D'Antonio. We do have a recruitment and into that executive leadership position. So, as you can see, Chief McCarg is here tonight to make those introductions.
All right, Mayor and Council, this is one of the fun parts of the job, is getting to introduce some new personnel. So as the Chief of our East Valley Fire Consolidated Fire Department, I'd like to start off with our two new hires, Taylor Zeitz and Jacob Torres, if they could come stand up here. So they have finished, we have a 2-week mini academy, and we put them through the ringer. have them work on the training tower, pull hose, do all sorts of stuff that makes them super sweaty. And they passed that 2-week process. We did a badge pinning here at Station 251 a little over a week ago, and we are proud to have them on board as new Loma Linda firefighters. I think they'll do us very, very well, so we wanted to introduce you to them. So, we welcome them. Thanks, fellas. You can sit down. And then lastly, we have finished the recruitment and hiring of a deputy fire chief. So Deputy Chief Dana D'Antonio had been in the fire department 30 years, and he announced about a year ago that he was getting ready to retire, and that stressed out myself and Chief Bender. And we started looking around for a deputy fire chief. And Deputy Chief Dan Harker comes to us by way of San Bernardino City and then through San Bernardino County. So he was the deputy fire chief in San Bernardino City. He was one of the incident commanders on the December 2nd shooting, was in charge of the scene there for the fire department. When San Bernardino City chose to annex their fire department to San Bernardino County, he became a county employee. And then that's when I started snooping around and talking to him about being a deputy fire chief. We had 3 candidates for deputy fire chief. One of them was our Loma Linda chief, Tim Bruner. He tested very well. And Chief Harker tested very well, and we had 1 candidate from outside. Chief Harker was offered the job and accepted the job. He's in his 2nd week, and we haven't scared him off yet. So I'm feeling pretty good about that. So I'll give him just a chance to say a couple of things.
Thank you, Chief. I just thank you for this opportunity. I've spent my whole fire and EMS career in this area, in the area of San Bernardino, Colton, Loma Linda. I've built a lot of relationships with everyone I've been working with, and it's been a great experience, and it's kind of an honor to be part of these 2 cities, Colton and Loma Linda, and working hand in hand. I think it's a great thing they've done in consolidating like they have, and it's great to be joining that and help to expand it further, and I appreciate the opportunity.
And he's tall enough to be fire marshal. Okay, our next is the consent calendar, and there's a special circumstance on item number 9 that our city attorney will explain.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, council members, this item does involve the Loma Linda Health, which is a source of income for 4 of the council members during the last year. And so pursuant to our normal rule of necessity, we will draw straws for the 2 who will participate to make up the quorum for that particular item. Because this is on the consent calendar, is a routine thing not requiring hearing or any formal debate, there's an exception to the rule that otherwise would require those who do not participate to leave the room. So on this consent calendar item, we'll take it separately, and the 2 who do not participate will sit quietly but need not leave the room. So I'll do the straws this time.
So we're doing number 9 first. I have a question on 8 when we get to that.
We might as well start with 9 since we're drawing straws. He's a voter.
Participant?
Non-participant.
Non-participant. So you have the last participant.
Okay. I'll move the item. Have a second? All in favor? Aye. Aye. Carries.
Took longer to do the rule of necessity.
Okay, the balance of the consent calendar.
agenda.
Yeah, I'll second that. I have a question. Oh, yeah.
Well, he can talk about it after
Yeah,
we move.
well, I read the staff report on number 8. I still don't understand it. It's not a big deal, but I'm curious.
Yes, the Beaumont, City of Beaumont, as part of their installing the sewer line, which is called brine, which is the salt content in the sewer, they have to bring the pipeline from City of Beaumont all the way to City of San Bernardino sewer treatment plant, which in turn will come down San Tim and to Barton Road, go up California Street to Redlands Boulevard, and west on Redlands all the way to Waterman to go across. A section of it gonna go across, go under California Street widening project. So therefore, I asked them to either do it now, or you have to do it after 3 years, after we completed the improvement at Redlands in California. So they asked if we bid the job as additive alternate, they will pay for the cost for installation. And that's why we have this agreement that this city of Beaumont will reimburse the city for this work.
And is the brine line already there, or
No,
is this
sir.
a new line that's
It's a new
going
line.
in?
That's a big project.
So it goes all
All the way from Beaumont down here?
Yes, city of Yucaipa already done that. Yucaipa Valley Water District already done that.
Wow.
Why don't they get together and,
I asked the same question.
yeah.
Do we get free new pavement?
We get pavement as part of this job.
Yeah, so we get free pavement.
But but eventually it sounds like they're gonna have to tear up California and Redlands Boulevard, and so then they'll
Yes,
pave that.
yes.
But that could be how many years down the road?
Right. Which bridge?
The one we're about to appropriate money for?
Yeah, so. So they're gonna ask us to install the pipeline for them and reimburse us for it. So. That's all.
Okay, so there was a motion, a second on the consent calendar, items 3 through
I
8.
do have a question about item number 7.
Okay,
Yes.
Well, it appears as if the way the staff report is written, that it was going to be more of a water project, but it's really a road project involving water. So that's why it's, okay. I think I'm clarified it for myself, thank you.
okay. So there's a motion, a second. Is there any further discussion on items 3 through 8? Hearing none, is there any opposition? Hearing none, it's approved unanimously. Any reports of councilmen? Reports of officers?
Whose motion is second for the 1 to 8?
You two were fighting over who was seconding it. For
Yes.
consent, it was motion second.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Real quick, I was at a League of Cities meeting in Sacramento on Friday, and it looks like the league is going up to fight the gas tax repeal. That's, yes, because the league feels like it's defending the infrastructure money that's coming to the cities. So although that initiative seems to be moving pretty good and there's some teeth behind it, it looks like a lot of people want to get behind repealing the gas tax. It sounds like the league is probably going to take a position to fight that repeal because they see it as a loss of infrastructure money.
Because the league on balance is left of center.
Yes, typically.
You know, I think,
But if, in terms of they're looking at just that specific revenue stream to the city
Yeah.
on basis of that.
and I'm not sure, do you know the basis for why they're overturning it specifically? Well,
What's the initiative
Yeah.
on the outside? The
Yeah.
initiative is just because it's a
because.
They don't want to
techni-
pay the
tax.
tax.
Well, but I could be mistaken, but I think one of their other issues is the way it went about it. It should really be a vote of the people if they choose to vote for
Well,
it.
incidentally enough, there's another piece of legislation that was introduced by Assemblyman, I can't think of his name, that will basically, if it passes, will guarantee that whenever we do these type of revenue streams, they actually go to their intended destination. Because if you know, over the last 20, 30, 40 years, we've passed other taxes for infrastructure. It's just the legislators take the money and move it into the general fund, because there's no legal obligation to put it there. So there is a piece of legislation that I think is a ballot initiative, may show up in June, that we'll have the opportunity to vote, that when we do this in the future, that money will stay in infrastructure and can't be diverted. Which it sounds like has got a lot of support from both sides.
They do it all the time. For example, there was something passed that increased funding for residency programs in medicine in the state. And the money was supposed to go to the UC schools, who were supposed to then distribute it to residency programs statewide. Well, Jerry Brown promptly defunded UC to the same amount of dollars, forcing the UC who got the money to use it just to backfill the money that was taken away from them. So it doesn't do any good in the state of California to pass any special spending, because they just unspend the general fund, and it's the same thing. It's the moral equivalent of dumping it into the general fund. So
I had a question.
I don't think you can ever trust the politicians above the city or county level in this state.
We had the workshop 2 weeks ago. Have we decided on what the next one is?
That was supposed to be February.
I'm sorry?
Second Tuesday of February,
So it's the 13th?
whatever date that is.
Yeah, we are. I'm just talking about the general workshop with everybody.
Yes,
So that's on the 13th?
yeah, prior to the city council meeting.
Okay.
Anything else?
Now that you mentioned about the gas tax, SB1 money, I'd like to mention that item number 6 that you just,
Right, and that was my point.
that the funding come from SB1, funding the gas tax, and they authorize us to start spending January 1st, and by the 23rd, we already awarded contract for Loma Industry.
All right, all right.
So why doesn't the state just pass 100% tax level, and then everything will be perfect?
So if SB1's repealed, they can't claw back into the money we already got, so.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's still a red herring because it still opens up the billions of dollars they're collecting from the existing gas tax, and there's no law preventing that money from, so they're saying, well, this one is only for that. Well, it's only for this
So
amount,
the-
but they're already getting plenty more for
So
the other.
they'll take the SB1 money and defund everything else.
The other thing, not. This political commentary. And
They're all agreeing with us. They're all agreeing with us, and you're the only one who doesn't, apparently.
We were
not to
looking at the
belabor-
price of gas out of state.
So the other interesting thing that was at the meeting, at their general session meeting on Friday, was that they met with the governor over a bunch of issues on Thursday, and apparently he was, the way they described it, very open and amenable to all kinds of different situations, that he was very sympathetic to local control. They brought up stuff related to marijuana use and regulation and all that, and very open that local control is absolutely paramount, and I agree with you, and agreed to some concessions. And then they brought up public safety and AB 109, Prop 47, and the potential rollback of some of that, because there's also another initiative that's growing steam. And he apparently got very angry in the meeting and adamant that there was nothing wrong with public safety in this state, and that was the red herring, that everything was good and everybody was safe, and would not support. That's where we decriminalized everything. So now people can break into your house, rape, rob, and steal from you, and it's not a crime.
And they can steal $949 from you, and it's not a felony.
But anyway, but it was
But-
just really interesting, because he showed his Jerry Brown colors in that too.
Yeah, for our observers in the audience, which is 3/4 of our adoring public, just remember that collectivists don't just want to redistribute the money, they want to redistribute guilt. So if you commit a crime in a collectivist society, it's our fault, not yours. So we'll all go to jail together.
Here we go.
I don't understand what he just said, I didn't either.
All right.
It takes a village to raise a criminal. Hillary wrote a book about it. Okay, let's move on to our, I think we're adjourned on the city council part.
Can I mention one more thing? The
Oh.
employee appreciation breakfast is this coming Thursday at 7 o'clock at Hometown Buffet.
Okay, 7 a.m. If you show up at 7 p.m., you'll be dining alone. Thursday morning.
I had a general question. Has the new hotel opened?
Yes.
Are they planning not doing some sort of ribbon cutting or anything like that for it? That's a pretty big project.
They said something about coordinating it with the Chamber of
Okay.
Commerce, so that,
Did they ever do one for the other front hotel? Because I don't remember seeing.
I
any
don't
with-
think so. I think we
They
had
should do it
some,
together.
Maybe he wants to do all three at the same time.
I think we didn't have a real active Chamber of Commerce when
Because
that.
that's a
first one
really
opened.
nice hotel. It's a Marriott, and that's in Loma Linda. That's a big deal. So
This is a long stay hotel, so the ribbon cutting will be,
Speaking of that, Lisa,
the ribbon
Shane,
cutting will be 30 days long.
we're hosting a league dinner in a couple of months too, and so we were looking for a venue. I didn't know, did she reach out to them?
They probably don't have enough space. I mean, they have some meeting room, but it's only like 3,000 square feet.
I heard rumor that the chamber may look to do the dinner there, so if that can happen, I would think the league
I think that one's in April, I think. The one in Loma Linda, I think March is, maybe like Chino, and then April, Loma Linda.
Okay. I think our afterglow was longer than the meeting. So, okay, then I will once again adjourn the city council and we'll go to our housing authority agenda. Are there any items to be added or deleted?
No, sir.
Would the 4 members of the public like to speak? They're all shy. Okay. Then we have the consent calendar.
I'll second.
Okay, any further discussion? Any opposition? Hearing none. Any member reports? Any reports of officers? We're adjourned. The next meeting is the successor agency. This one actually has an item, but we probably already, no. Okay. Okay. Any items to be added or deleted?
No, sir.
Any comments from our adoring public? None.
I'll move the consent calendar.
Okay, any further discussion? Any opposition? Hearing none, it's approved. The new business, item 3,
Just do it from here.
the ROPS. This is actually the reason we had this meeting.
Members, council members. Earlier today, we met with the Oversight Board and we presented the administrative budget and the ROPS for the operating cycle of July 1st, 2018 through June 30th, 2019. This will basically be our last ROPS with our current Oversight Board as of on July 1st of 2018. The countywide Oversight Board should be in effect, and from then on, we will be presenting the ROPS and any other issues to the countywide Oversight Board. So currently, the Oversight Board did approve both items, and so this is a action that the successor agency will need to also approve as well. So we'll need approval for the Council Bill R 2018-3, approving the administrative budget, and Council Bill R 2018-04, adopting the recognized obligation payment schedules, the ROPS for the 2018-2019 cycle.
This comes as a recommendation from the Oversight Committee.
From staff and the Oversight Committee.
Staff and the Oversight.
And this contains 2 council bills.
I'll go ahead and move them then. I'll do them as a package or individually.
They're related items, you can do them together.
So I move Council Bill R-2018-03 and R 2018-04.
Okay, there's a motion, a second. Any further discussion? Is there any opposition? Hearing none, it's approved unanimously. Now, item number 4, Council Bill R-2018-08.
This is an extension of the agreement for the sale of the property at Redlands and Richardson. The original purchaser had that, was working with O'Reilly Auto Parts to get a site selected there. They'd gone through part of the due diligence and O'Reilly fell out. So this essentially just gives them more time to complete that sale. If the other option would be is to put this back out for some type of a bid. There's the risk that we would get either a lower price on the bid, and ultimately whatever happens with the selection of that buyer and at the bid would end up at the county level and not at us. So this is a way to kind of bring this to closure under our umbrella.
Is this the first piece of property that was part of the RDA that we're actually selling?
Well, we only have the 2, the Redlands and Richardson, and then Area D, so yes.
Yeah. So this would be the first.
Yeah.
Interesting. So I wasn't even aware of that. I had thought that it was going to be some sort of shopping type of retail district there. Yeah, I know, but I didn't realize it was the auto parts store. But I also noticed that they're talking about a gas station. Is that still viable?
They are looking for users right now. It's a secondary site for a gas station. It's really too far off the freeway. You're gonna want those on the off-ramps.
Mm-hmm. Well, but, yeah, I actually personally think it would be a good idea. If you look at some of the other gas stations, they get pretty busy. So there is a fair amount of traffic on Redlands Boulevard. A fair amount of traffic.
There is a fairly high traffic count,
So-
both on Redlands and on Richardson, on that corner.
Okay. So we're just continuing the acceptance of the offer, so we're actually haven't sold it? Or
They
does
have-
it really matter to us who's,
It really doesn't matter to us, and there was just a time frame on the escrow agreement with them.
okay,
This is the ability to extend it for them so that they can get a new buyer and work through the due
Okay.
diligence.
okay, thank you. I'll move the item.
Thank you. Okay, any further discussion? Any opposition? Hearing none, it's approved unanimously, and we are adjourned. That's the last of our 3 meetings. Thank you for coming. If you came out of duty, you got a really short meeting. So congratulations.